Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hello. If you are returning, welcome back. Thank you so much for sticking around. I really appreciate you. So I'm back. Hello, welcome. Today, we're going to be catching up with Amberlynn Reid. And I have been seeing that, and I have watched the videos that we're going to be talking about already today. I have been seeing that she is kind of having some conversations surrounding things that we talk about here, or that we've talked about on the past here on this channel, in non-Amberlynn Reid context. So yeah, I wanted to come in and lend my thoughts because I think it's interesting, because it has to do with like medical fat phobia, the treatment of fat people in the medical system, stuff like that. But I think with the context of Amberlynn, that kind of is where things get a little bit complicated. So we'll talk about that. As you all probably know, maybe, I don't know. I did one of my history lesson videos on Amberlynn back in December, and I believe is probably my longest video I've ever done. So if you want to go watch that, because then I have a couple other follow-up videos of things that I just felt like I didn't explain well enough at all in the initial history lesson video. I'm thinking about doing like catching up with style videos on people that I have done history lessons on in the past, because Amberlynn included, I think it's been, come June, it'll be about 6 months since my most recent like person specific history lesson. And I have another one coming up, but I think it would be interesting because some of them have been doing stuff, and I think it would be fun to kind of go back and see like, where are they now? So let me know if that's something you'd like. Today we're talking about Amberlynn and everything that she's been going through. This is going to be kind of commentary, kind of a reaction, because mainly there's a lot to like unpack, and I want to watch the videos and give my opinions on them as I go along so I don't miss anything. So yeah, that's what we're gonna be doing today. Kind of a reaction, kind of commentary, whatever. But yeah, let's just get into it. Oh, I'm sorry, what was that? What was that? Oh, my earrings? You like them? Aren't they timeless? Aren't they cute and shiny? I love them. I know. They're from Ana Luisa, the sponsor of today's video. Now, I have always been a jewelry girly, especially an earring girly. I love costume jewelry. I love metal jewelry. I love precious. I love all kinds of jewelry. And I really think that Ana Luisa is a very good place to go for high quality jewelry that comes at a very, very reasonable price point. Ana Luisa's jewelry starts at just $39, and every piece of Ana Luisa jewelry is strength and humidity tested and is also tarnish resistant. They offer free shipping in the US and very affordable shipping options for everywhere else. And the best part is if you don't love what you get, they offer free shipping and exchanges, and they also have a 2-year warranty on all of their pieces. Ana Luisa sent me over 3 different pieces to try out from them. And first off, I just want to say they all came in these cute little like dust bags. I don't know if you can tell. And I think that's a really nice touch, especially for the price. The first pair, the ones that I am wearing, are the mini Abby earrings in gold, and I wear these. I've been wearing these almost like every single day since I've gotten them. And then they also sent me these hoops. They are the Hannah marble blue earrings, and I had been eyeing these for a while because I'd looked at Ana Luisa many times before they even wanted to work with me, and I'd been eyeing these for such a long time, so I was very excited to get them. And then the third pair of earrings that they sent me, which I was very happy to get all earrings, were the Colleen hoops, which for the life of me, I do not know where they are. They are missing in action right now. I was wearing them, I took them off, I set them somewhere, and now I can't remember where I put them, but I can attest that those and all of these are very comfortable to wear. And I actually have like kind of sensitive ears. If my ears don't like a piece of jewelry, they will start itching really bad, and I've had that happen on many occasions, and this has not happened with any of the earrings from Ana Luisa. These especially, I forget that I'm wearing, and I go to sleep in them, and I wake up and I'm like, oh, this is new. I usually don't sleep in earrings. But yeah, I was super excited to be able to try all these out from Ana Luisa. I really recommend their jewelry. I think they're very high quality pieces. These have a very good weight to them. They don't feel light or cheap or anything like that. If you'd like to check out Ana Luisa, be sure to use the link down below in my description for up to 30% off your purchase. Thank you so much to Ana Luisa for sponsoring today's video. And as always, thank you to you guys for continuing to interact with my content so so that brands like Ana Luisa want to work with me. And yeah, let's just get back into the video. First big update with Amberlynn is that she is starting Ozempic again. And she had been on Ozempic once before, I think in sometime last year, I think. And she wound up going off of it because she developed like sludge in her gallbladder, which she wound up going off of it because that was scaring her. And I think she also mentioned that she had the advice of a doctor to go off of it as well, but she's back on it. And I will say it has been very interesting to have her start Ozempic and then proceed to watch her continue to like eat fast food 3 times a day. So we'll talk about that. But that is like the one update that like I just wanted to give without like reacting to anything. But in the videos, mostly where she talks about starting Ozempic again, she also has been hinting at something going on with her health and how she's been going to doctor's appointments and how she wasn't sure, but she's kind of sure that she wanted to talk about it later, which she eventually does. She does give her audience the information of what has been happening with her. And I think this is something that we see Amberlynn do a lot, and that is like clickbait her health and like tease her health. Be like, well, I have boundaries, so I'm not going to talk about it, but then she'll wind up talking about it like 2 videos later. We'll talk about all of that when we get into actually reacting and talking about the videos. Basically, too long didn't read, whatever. She has been having symptoms that have worried her that her uterine cancer is like back, or she's having complications because she has had blood in her pee, and she had a full hysterectomy when she got diagnosed with uterine cancer. And so that obviously for many reasons is concerning and would be concerning. She just, the way she talks about her size in the medical system and stuff like that, I think is an interesting conversation. And so I wanted to just go off of that, and I'm going to kind of skip through the videos a little bit, and if there's nothing like relevant to this topic, I'm just going to skip through them just for like brevity. But if anything happens, I'll give a summary. Okay. So yeah, let's just get into that. Okay, so the first video that I wanted to talk about was the video that she put out that was like after videos kind of hinting at things that had been going on. And it was her talking about like what has been happening, basically her going into detail, even though she had been going back and forth on what boundaries she wanted to have with her audience and stuff like that, which is understandable, to be honest. Like, I get that. Like, I have certain boundaries of things I do and don't talk about online. Okay, so basically the first video, and I have these in because I'm like watching the video as I go along. So basically the first video that we're talking about, the major health scare, why I have been seeing doctors lately, the first half of it is like her talking about some symptoms she's been having that could either be like a UTI or kidney stones, but are also really concerning to her because of her history with uterine cancer, and which totally understandable. She was diagnosed with uterine cancer, I think 3 years ago. It might be longer than that, to be honest. She had to undergo a full hysterectomy when that happened, and so she doesn't have a uterus, and so she's been having blood in her urine, which as a person with a uterus or without a uterus who was born with a uterus can be very, very alarming, and would be very alarming. It would be alarming to me. And so, yeah, so she went to urgent care, and basically it's not a UTI, and they are setting her up for a CT scan and all of that kind of stuff to see what it is. But she's talking a lot about how this was like triggering for her because of everything she went through with her uterine cancer and all of that. And I totally understand that, because one of the main symptoms of her uterine cancer was that she bled continuously for like 2 years, which is insane to me that nothing was done about that. She said that she was just really scared to go to the gynecologist, and she didn't. So that's what the first half of this video is about. And then the second half is where she starts talking about more of what I wanted to get into on this here platform. So let's just get into that.
What this issue is, so I can get it resolved, so I can figure out a solution. I still remember sitting there in immediate care and them coming back and telling me it was not a UTI, because I really believed that it was. And when they told me that it wasn't, again, it was just like flashback after flashback after flashback of everything I went through before I was finally diagnosed with uterine cancer. I just kept going back and forth, like, do I want to tell you guys about this? Like, I'm embarrassed and I'm ashamed, but it's also like, there are things that your body does that you are not in control over. And I know a lot of people are like, this happened to you because your weight, this is your weight's fault, this is your weight's fault. Not everything is because of my size and because of my weight. So it's hard to come on here and feel like a normal human because I get so much like, this is your fault, this is your fault. Sometimes it's just literally not my fault. I have fully taken the responsibility of me getting uterine cancer to begin with. Like, that is completely my fault. I have had health professionals tell me, no, it isn't your fault. But it's like, when you look at it and you figure out, you know, why did I get this? It is my fault. And I would have never gotten it if it wasn't for my size. And that's something that I hold on to all the time. The guilt that I feel about that is powerful. I can't blame everything on my size because not everything.
And I am honestly happy to hear that she has taken this accountability that her uterine cancer was probably caused by her size, because that's kind of what a lot of people always thought, because uterine cancer is prevalent in obese women. I think this kind of goes back to how nothing that's happening right now is her fault, but like and I was watching these and I was like, didn't she like not go to the doctor? Like I'm pretty positive she did not go. And I went back and checked reaction channels and stuff, and like everybody seems to be on the same idea that like she didn't do a lot of the follow-ups that she was supposed to after her cancer, and after her hysterectomy for her cancer. And that was always like a big topic of conversation just from me remembering as a viewer at the time. And also, I think where this comes from is like where this like it's your fault kind of comes from is like, I think a lot of people don't understand how getting cancer and getting your entire, like having to have a whole organ removed from you was not as big of a wake up call to like do whatever you needed to do to like make sure that nothing happened again that could have been prevented due to your weight. You know what I mean? And so like, I think that's where this conversation comes from, the like, it's your fault thing. Granted, I know some people can be assholes and that's whatever. But like in terms of faults, I don't really think that's the conversation we should be having. It should just be like, hey, maybe you should be taking weight loss like way more seriously than you have since all of this happened, because of the fact that it basically caused you to get cancer. Your size caused you to get cancer. And like, that's what was the big wake up call for me. Like I didn't get cancer, but my liver wasn't functioning properly. I was pre-diabetic, like all of this stuff. And I was just like, this is scary, because I was only 21 also. And Amber's only like 32 or 33. And so when she had cancer, I think she was like 30 or 29, like she was young. And so like, for me, I was like, I'm so young to be dealing with all of this shit that like, I need to do something about it. And I think that's just like the personal the lack of personal accountability is what is bothering people in regards to this conversation. Anyways,
looking at bigger people and dismissing them constantly for whatever reason, it's because of their weight. It isn't fair, and it is in a way dehumanizing. But I'm not ignorant. I'm not unaware of the fact that like being larger does cause a lot of health problems. It truly does. That is why I've never been health at every size. I don't believe that you can be this size and be healthy, but I do believe that bigger people such as myself, we do experience illnesses or sicknesses that isn't directly caused by our weight. So hopefully that makes sense. And that was like a big reason why like I didn't want to come on here and talk about this, because so many people dismiss me and the things that I go through just automatically, like whether it's health stuff, mental health stuff, just like day-to-day life stuff. I'm just like constantly dismissed and judged because of my size. Like it goes on to like simple things like Amberlynn doesn't shower because of her size, or Amberlynn doesn't walk her dog because of her size, or Amberlynn doesn't clean her house because of her size. Like,
and I totally understand this. Like I have a chronic illness and I've had it since I was 16. I'm almost 28 now, or I'll be turning 28 in September. So I have like 3 more months to go. So I've had it for like well over a decade. And I remember that my weight and my hormones at the, like my weight and my like gender were always called into question surrounding this. And I was just like, okay, then like, why doesn't every other person who's a girl and is my size that like I know or whatever feel the same way? And it's so incredibly frustrating to have very real issues that you are dealing with just written off because of your weight, or having your weight brought into conversations that it just does not need to be a part of. Like, and I'm sure for Amber, because I mean, even the highest that I ever got weight wise was 315, and Amber is what, like 500 pounds, I think. And I think the highest she got was like almost 600. And so like, I'm sure she has experienced that over and over and over again. And like, that would be infuriating. But like, the fact of the matter is, and I don't like being this person on here because like I think there's more nuance to it but in this instance, I don't really think there is. Like, the more excess weight that you have on your body, the higher likelihood of like more medical things showing up. And like, I'm really happy Amber acknowledged that here. But also I think personal responsibility and being an adult comes into play there as well. And like making decisions that will benefit you and being an advocate for yourself and like getting what you need is a big part of that also. And so like, and Amberlynn is a very, in my opinion, immature person for being 30 some years old. And I'm sure some of that has to do with her trauma from her childhood. And I totally understand that. But like, there is a level of personal responsibility there of being like, oh shit, like something's got to give, you know, and that never happened after this.
I have never given any indication. Yes, 4 years ago, for sure. 2019. Wait, that's literally 5 years now. 2019, 5 years ago. Yes. Like those things were close to virtually impossible for me at the time. Then like, I have shown my growth. I have shown myself walking Twinkie. We have walked a mile together multiple times. I recorded a couple times. I talk about my showering. I talk about my cleaning. I talk about all these things. I've shown myself doing these things. And just because of my size, people assume that I can't do these things. And that's just really unfair. I didn't want this video to be about my weight or my size, but I think that's something that's just like really, truly heavy on my mind and in my heart right now. Because no matter what I talk about, it could literally be anything. No matter what I talk about on this channel, somehow the reaction I receive is always weight-based. It's always about my size. I do talk about my weight a lot on this channel. I'm about to start a new Ozempic journey. That's something that I'm always going to talk about, but that doesn't mean that every single thing that I do in my life is directly a cause of my size. I want to be a person with so many things about them, and one of them just being that I'm super morbidly obese. But instead, I feel like the internet makes me just a super morbidly obese person. There's nothing else about her. I'm only ever seen for my size. I don't think anybody should ever be just seen because of how they look.
Okay, so I think we'll talk more about medical stuff, I think, in a couple videos here, but like with Amber in general, like I think the reason everything is so, yes, her weight is an easy thing to go at for people on the internet who don't like her. And I totally understand that that is what happens like a majority of the time. And that's not fair. Like people who don't like me come after my weight too. Like it's just like, oh, you're fat. Okay, easy target, you know? And I understand that. But Amber really only talks about her weight. Like, and anything else that she doesn't talk about or that she brings into her is boring. Like I don't like say it's boring, bestie. Like it's boring. That's why reaction channels exist. You go back and forth between not wanting to talk about your weight and wanting to talk about your weight. But even when you're going back and forth on that, you're still talking about your weight. And so it's like, you kind of have to give more to your audience in order for them to start seeing you more as more than that. And more than just like things you bought at Target and things you bought on Amazon and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And so I think this is very interesting because like she always talks about how she wants to be known as more than her weight. And I totally understand that sentiment. I get it. Like I did too. I still do. Like I talked about in my last video about baby reindeer and the portrayal of fat women in media. Like fat people are more than just being fat, but like it's hard when people only know like the internet version of you, and the internet version of you is like in a very specific niche, you know? And yeah, so
be more than someone who is 500 pounds. Things happen to me not because of my size, but because I'm simply human, and we all are. And we need to learn how to respect each other and stop invalidating and dismissing what people are going through. My God, I feel like I could ramble on forever. I don't know where this video completely took a turn. I don't know where it went. Long story short, I'm about to go to a CT scan. I'm about to start a vlog for you guys. I knew this was gonna be long-winded, so I wanted it to be its own like separate thing. And I just want to end this video with, I get it, I'm fat. I know, and it has caused me a lot of issues in my life. But instead of assuming that whatever I'm going through is because of my size, let's like figure out what the issue is first, and then we can figure that out. I'm sorry for like that little mini rant. I guess it really was just bothering me. I know my words probably aren't gonna matter so much. They usually don't, but I think it just feels better that it's off of my chest.
Okay, so that was the first video in like this string of videos around this like health thing that she's going through. And I just want to say, I totally understand how triggering and how scary this must be. Like, I get it 100%. Like, even when I go through something that is even like remotely close to what I went through when I was getting diagnosed for my chronic illness, I freak out because like that was straight up not a good time. Very traumatic, both in my social life and medical. Not great. So I totally understand that. I get it. But I think just writing this off as being like, this isn't happening to me because of my weight, when it could be related to her uterine cancer and stuff like that, there's like a level of cognitive dissonance there. And do I think that medical fat phobia exists? And do I think that fat people are treated differently and are written off too soon in the medical system? Just because of their weight? Absolutely. It's happened to me. And I've just heard so many testimonials about it that like 100% it happens, and it's frustrating as hell. Like, it is so frustrating. But I think I understand why that jump is being made here with the information that we had at the time this video was put out, because now she comes out with a video that was titled "Too Big for the CT Scan, My First Ozempic Shot and a Weigh-In." And I'm not going to react to this one because I don't know. It just doesn't feel necessary to me. There was a clip in it though that was really funny. She was in Barnes & Noble with her mom, and also watching her and her mom together is like so cute. Like, I don't know why, like they just have a very cute dynamic. They're very similar. And yeah, I think it's so cute that she's like reconnecting with her mom. I know there's some drama with her mom, but I'm pretty sure that was all put to bed anyways. But like, I think they're very cute and I enjoy watching their dynamic together. I'm not gonna lie to you. But she was in Barnes & Noble with her mom, and she was looking at books that were put out for like Pride Month, and it was like a bunch of queer affirmations and stuff like that. And then boom, cut to a clip of her eating at Chick-fil-A.
Celebrating Pride. Affirmations for queer people. All right, let's flip to a random one. I am powerful and strong. I am enough as I am. Oh, I love that. All right, you guys, I'll do a haul when I get home. So my mom has never had Chick-fil-A before.
Listen, I eat at Chick-fil-A, okay? I'm not above the bigotry chicken. There used to be one like very close to my apartment, and so like it is what it is. All right. But like, that was just so funny to me. Like, also after taking her first Ozempic shot, okay, whatever. I had to put that in there because I just started laughing when I was like, oh, this is funny. This is really funny. And I don't know if she knows this, but she probably does. To me, it was funny. Anyways, it starts off with her talking about how the CT scan that she mentioned in the first video, she was too big for. She was like, her weight was the weight limit for the CT machine. And so they were like having to send her to a different place to get one that can accommodate her better. And first of all, I was like, why wasn't this a topic of conversation like when it was happening? Like, why wasn't it made sure that like she would fit in the machine? Because this has been an issue that she's had before, I believe, during when she was having her hysterectomy and stuff like that. So I don't know. But yeah, so she's too big for the CT scan, and they're figuring that out. To me, I think this is really interesting because as much as she wants to say not everything about her health is dependent on or is directly related to her weight, I think her getting the health care that she needs can be. And does it suck that not all machines are like accessible to everybody and all of that? Absolutely. And that's another conversation for a different day, because like, yeah, that's something that can't be changed tomorrow, but also somebody's weight isn't something that can be changed tomorrow. So it's like, where do we meet in the middle on that? I don't know. But I think when your weight starts getting in the way of you getting the medical care and the medical imaging and screening and whatever you need done, I think then it's like, okay, yes, maybe my current state, maybe the state of my health currently is directly related to my weight because I can't get the care that I need, you know? And that's what I thought of when I saw this part of her with her being too big for the machine. But yeah, I was also like, why wasn't this discussed in the first place? Like, I get scared of like weight limits on machines and stuff at the doctor, even though I know I'm like well below them, but like, it's just like, I don't know how that wasn't discussed. The next one she posted is health update, first few days on Ozempic and weigh in. She's lost like 4 pounds already on Ozempic, I think, which is great. She's talking about like storm season in Oklahoma, which would be honestly terrifying. I don't want to deal with that ever. But then she comes on with this little bit, and so I want to react to this.
Hello. So it is the next day, and there's a few things that I want to talk to you guys about. First one being, I have been wearing makeup like every single day.
Work.
And I just need a breather, so that's why you're seeing me again without makeup.
Also work.
That's an insecurity of mine. I just really have not been liking myself without makeup lately. I've always had the issue, but like it's worse now more than ever. Next thing I want to talk about is I did weigh myself again today, even though I weighed myself yesterday, so here it is. All right, guys, I'm about to step on the scale again, so let's do it. I already turned it on. Whoopsies.
495.4 pounds.
Oh, hell yeah. And you know what? I'm not going to be weighing myself this often. I really want to do like weekly weigh-ins, but it's like, I'm excited right now. So that's why we're doing another weigh-in already. So we are making some progress, and that makes me really happy. Okay, so the third thing I want to talk about, as you guys know, I went to get a CT scan, and then the limit for the CT scan was my exact weight. They actually ended up calling me today, finally. And my doctor's office simply just told me that they're working on getting me into a urologist and also trying to find a CT scan that actually accommodates my size. So I still do not have an appointment for that. But today is actually the day where my video went up where I talked to you guys about what is going on with me. And I have received so many cruel Instagram messages, which has literally shocked the shit out of me. I'm not gonna lie. My Instagram DMs is very much a safe space for me because it's nothing but kindness and just really sweet and supportive people. So I don't know where it's coming from, but it came and I am on a blocking spree. So on top of like me going through this, I'm having to deal with like a bunch of just like really cruel, insensitive people who lack empathy and sympathy. Also,
unfortunately, and this kind of goes back to my last video that I did on Marissa Matthews, not the one with her and the reaction, but like catching up with her. I'll have it linked wherever. Unfortunately, when you share stuff online, that's just like what you're opening yourself up to. And the fact that she's still like surprised about that is really weird to me because she's been online for a very long time, longer than me, like as a public figure. And like, I know that when I share certain things about myself or like my beliefs or things going on with me or what, some people can be dickheads. They can be awful. And so it's like, I don't know why that's not surprising. Or why that is surprising. But yeah, I mean, is it warranted? No, I don't think so. I don't think she deserves cruelty in her DMs due to this, but that's just the internet. I don't know, you know?
Of all that, there is a lot of miscommunication where people think that after I had a hysterectomy, I had no follow-ups. That is so not true. Like if you go back, you can look at vlogs. I had follow-ups, I had CT scans, I had all kinds of different appointments and tests done. Every 6 months, I had a CT scan. And every single time, everything came back completely normal and good. So I don't know where the misinformation is, but a lot of people assume that I never had any follow-up. I'm not stupid. That would never happen. Like I was diagnosed with uterine cancer, had a full hysterectomy, and you expect me, especially the people around me at the time who loved and cared about me, you expected me not to go to the follow-ups? Even if it was me just being stupid, lazy, not wanting to do it. Like I have fear of doctors and tests, especially like CT scans and stuff. Like that shit gives me so much anxiety. And sometimes my anxiety wins, I'm not gonna lie. But like I have people in my life, like Feline and my mom, like who actively was like, you need to do these things. And like they supported me. And even before that, like it was Becky. I know like I don't talk about her on my channel and I do that out of respect for her, but like she was there for me through all of it and made sure that I went to those appointments. I don't know. I just hate like all the misinformation that's being spread around because it's like so many people have like the wrong.
Okay, so this was something I want to talk about. First of all, stop talking about Beck. Please just stop talking about Beck. And if you are going to talk about Beck, please don't misgender them. Like their pronouns are very out and proud, they, them. They are non-binary. They have since come out. That's what they want. But also, you know what they want? They want you to stop talking about them on your channel. And you should stop doing that, especially in this context, because for those of you who do not know, and I'll talk about the other stuff that we actually want to talk about that this video is kind of centered around in a minute. But after Amber and Beck broke up, they I can't remember what the context was, but like Amberlynn essentially on an Instagram Q&A like blamed Beck for her cancer getting out of control, or just not getting diagnosed in time. And because like she said that Beck like talked her out of going to the doctor or something like that. I can't remember what it was. I talked about it in my history lesson video. So like in the context of this too, to come on and be like, oh, Beck helped me. Like they helped me so much. Like what? Wild. Anyways, also, but this was where I was like, yes, because I was watching these and I was like, didn't she like not go to the doctor like when she was supposed to? Because like I'm pretty sure there was like a time where she was supposed to have a CT scan and like she had to reschedule it or something, then she just like never did. And also in regards to this, with the like it being her fault kind of thing, again, fault might be the wrong word, but I think here it's again more of just like being an adult and like personal responsibility. She talked about, I forgot to mention this, I think it was in the last one that I didn't like react to, but she talked about how she didn't have a primary care physician and like established in Oklahoma, and she has been in Oklahoma since like October, like the end Q4 of like last year, I think. And so like the fact that she has a history with like not like even just the mental health stuff that she's talked about, but like especially the cancer and like stuff like that, like, and just her weight in general, like it is mind-boggling to me that she did not get established with a PCP like right away. And like, because when I moved to Denver and I was 22 or 20, Yeah, 22. That was like the first thing on my list, but I had to wait because I had to wait for my health insurance for my new job to kick in. But as soon as it did, I made an appointment with a primary care physician because I was like a year out from my bariatric surgery. I wanted to keep that going. Like, my health is very important to me. And I also know that it can take a very long time to get into a primary care physician for the first time. But then also, if you're not in with a primary care physician, it takes you even longer to get in with other providers like specialists and stuff like that, which is what she's going through right now. And so I'm like, you are a fully 30-year-old woman. You know, I'm sorry, I'm sassy. I was at home. I went home to Michigan for a week and I wound up getting injured. It's my knee. But like, I'm sassy right now and I'm sorry. But like, it's just what it is. Like, she talks about being so on top of it and everything. But then like, when she moved to a new city, she's like, I did not want to do that. And I get that medical anxiety is a thing for sure. But like, also, sometimes we just have to do stuff, unfortunately.
Follow-ups did exactly what my oncologist told me to do. Even went as far as I was taking a medicine, which was estradiol, which I shouldn't have been taking, and I was taking it for 2 years. I was falsely prescribed it. Like, I made sure, even if I didn't understand like why I was doing something, I was doing it because I was under the care of this amazing team,
Even though I didn't understand why I was doing something, I cared about my health so much that I didn't even bother to ask. I'm sorry. Okay, sorry.
Still to this day think was an amazing team. They never looked at me for my size. They never treated me any differently than they would have like a normal person. There are surgeons out there that won't do hysterectomies on people my size, but my oncologist did, and she saved my life. And I made sure to go to every appointment and do every CT scan that she told me to do. For so many people to be like attacking me, saying like how having blood in my pee is my fault is just so wild. Which brings me to the next thing I want to talk about, which is an update on that. So when I had originally told you guys about pee in my blood, I told you guys that I had no other symptoms, like no pain. But since after that, there was a couple times that I felt lower back pain, which was like dull. And then I felt like really sharp pelvis pain. It's very kidney stone coded because that's kind of like what I experienced before when I had a kidney stone. And as of right now, I'm experiencing no pain. I'm experiencing no blood in my pee, but the CT scan is still happening. So that's the update on that. It does make me hopeful that I am no longer experiencing like any of the symptoms, but it is a little confusing still. But I'm going to try to figure it out, and I will keep you guys updated, even though this has been actually quite shocking, the reaction I've gotten over this. It's just constantly continuously proving to me that like, no matter what I say or do, there is a large group of people who is just out there to like see me hurt and to just like not believe a word I say and to just like twist their own crazy weird narrative. I don't know. I'm about to do me some sweeping, do me some cleaning, because that is therapeutic to me, and I'm actually gonna end this vlog. I truly did not want this vlog to be this way. I hate the reaction I've received. It makes me like, I just want to build up more walls, and I am feeling frustrated, I'm not gonna lie. I might take a break from YouTube, I don't know. To those of you who do support me and who are kind and sweet, thank you so much. It means the world to me, especially right now. I love you.
I can totally empathize with like getting a weird reaction that you just were not expecting at all, like 100%, like from videos or whatever. I've gotten that before, and I'm just like, whoa, pump the brakes. Okay, time to reevaluate and see what happened. But I think in this context, unfortunately, that's just the audience that she fosters. And I don't really know what else to say about that, because like there's a reason for that. And if you need to know those reasons, I direct you to my history lesson video. Particularly the more recent things with her exes and stuff like that, because but in saying that this is her fault, again, I don't really think fault is like the correct word, but I do think she did not make her health as much of a priority as maybe she should have, and now she's dealing with the ramifications of that, both long-term and short-term, like just since she's been in Oklahoma, and long-term as in like, you know, and that's like, if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. Like, I am not here to be like, don't do that, you know, like your body, whatever. But like, also don't say it's not your fault when things start happening. And that's where I was like, ooh, maybe this isn't the conversation for medical fat phobia, because like, that's not what this is to me. Like, this is not an example of that to me. Maybe her not fitting in the machine, sure, but like, even still, they're working to get one to accommodate her, and that's great. But yeah, so in regards to this whole conversation that she's having about how like the health stuff that she's going through isn't necessarily related to her health and stuff like that. Like, if it's like a kidney stone, stuff like that, I totally understand. But I think this is just calling people back to the uterine cancer, everything that happened, which like I did not touch on that. Like I still don't want to like give opinions on that too much, because like that's such a sensitive topic. But I do think it's interesting how in hindsight now, it really wasn't the wake up call that I think it would have been for a lot of people. And I think to me that lens, like that there is some psychological like blocks up there between what her weight is actually doing to her health. And like it's scary to watch because like if anything, honestly, I don't like Amber that much. I don't really like her that much. I'm not gonna lie. After doing my history lesson on her, I was like, whoa, yowza, holy shit. And so I was like, maybe not my favorite person, maybe wouldn't be friends, but like if she ever died like because of her weight, like that would be sad. That would be really fucking sad. And so like I think, yes, there are people who are being awful, but like even people who just criticize her, she deems as trolls. So like even if people are like being like, dude, this could be weight related again, like whatever, she'll probably take that as like a troll and a hater. And I think that's where people are coming from as well, is like, this is just your weight. Like this, like we don't want the big thing. We don't want to see you leave. Like we don't want you to go anywhere at such a young age. And yeah, I think the conversation surrounding medical fat phobia and stuff like that and having things written off due to your weight is so real and is such a valid conversation to have. But I just don't know if that's the conversation that should be surrounding this in particular. I am not a doctor. I went to art school, but like I don't know. And so I think the fact that she is going there is really her just like putting blame somewhere else and not taking responsibility and taking accountability for herself in this instance, because things can come back. And like, that's what's scary about anything regarding weight stuff is like, you can go right back to square one at any time. And like, that is my biggest fear and is why I am now like working with medical professionals to start losing weight again, because I'm like, I cannot get back to square one weight wise. I just can't. I did not feel good, any of that. And it's hard to get to the point of being like, oh my God, I've undone that progress. And so like, I think for her, what she has changed since her initial diagnosis and everything that followed is progress to her. And so I'm wondering if it's just hard for her to come to terms with the fact that she has undone potentially some of that progress. Is it possible for her to get uterine cancer again? No, because she doesn't have a uterus. But like, it's interesting to me that that's how she's swaying this conversation. Yeah, I don't really know. This is probably very rambly, but I've talked a lot about medical fat phobia and medical discrimination for fat people recently on this channel, and so I thought it was very timely that all of this started happening. As for her being on Ozempic, I am all for her being on Ozempic again. She had a lot of success with it, I think, the first time. And then the sludge in the gallbladder or whatever got to be too much or something, so she quit. But like I think that was like where she had the most success, if I am remembering correctly. And so I'm all for her being on Ozempic again. Like that is, and it's none of my business anyway. My opinion does not matter. My opinion, it literally does not matter. But I think it's great. I do hope that she learns the lifestyle change that has to go along with being on Ozempic, because you're going to come off of Ozempic at some point and you have to know these things and you have to get into that routine. Because I mean, I'll be honest, I've thought about going on Ozempic, like, because to help me lose my regain and to help me get back on track. I've thought about it. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not diabetic though, so my insurance doesn't cover it, which like is a good and a bad thing. And it's like an arm and a leg if you don't have insurance. Anyways, I thought about it. So it's like, I would be a hypocrite to like criticize literally anybody who's on it, who needs it. That's the other question. That's the other stipulation. I think this is a great option for Amber right now. So that's just where we're at with Amber. I think it's very interesting the ways this conversation is ebbing and flowing, and so I just wanted to talk about it here. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Leave a orange emoji down below. I don't know why that popped into my head. Orange emoji. Great. Thank you so much to Ana Luisa for sponsoring this video. I'm wearing another pair. I'm wearing those marble earrings today. These are like some of my faves. They're just so comfortable and I forget that I have them in. Go check out the link in my description to go shop them if you want to. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Remember to be kind to yourself, be kind to others, drink your water, take your meds, and I will see you in the next one. Okay, bye. I got my OCD medication back today and my brain is like actually functioning for the first time in like 3 weeks. And I'm so excited about it. Okay, anyways, bye.